Do not attempt to adjust your podcast player. We are controlling the transmission. We are here to be your guide, helping you to explore local events, the art scene, music, theater, and possibly a conspiracy or two. All here on GCRX Radio and Podcast Network.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to In the Metro. I'm your host, Chuck Hill, and with us, as always, the lovely Miss Kim Pearson.
Hello.
And Mr. Engineer Bill. Joining us tonight from City Hall is none other than Jenna De Yong herself.
Hi. How are you guys?
We are so glad to have you
Doing
back.
good.
Thanks.
Awesome.
It's been a year.
It's been a year. Happy anniversary to us.
Yes.
I mean, we're just a couple days early, but I think December 14th was the first time that you joined us on here, and it was a crap show, not because of her, but because you couldn't hear half of it. And what you could hear, well, you couldn't hear very well. So, guys, we're coming to you live tonight from Studio B, right behind Garden Gate Tea Room down here in the district area. We're happy to welcome Jenna onto the show. How was your weekend?
My weekend was fabulous. I had a great weekend. A lot of fun things happening in the city this weekend. So I got to participate in quite a few outdoor activities.
Nice.
It was nice. It was good. It was good to see the district. It's hard to get used to calling it that for me, but it was good to see a ton of people down celebrating the different things going on. So
well, when we were younger, it was just downtown.
It was downtown.
It was downtown and uptown.
And
it was a definite split between the two.
Woolworths or Kmart, downtown or uptown. Yeah.
I think what's happening now, just watching social media and hearing conversations, is that we are still very much the uptown, downtown, but there's not like the nuclei's right in the middle, and that's the district. So it's okay to still call it downtown. Mm-hmm. It's okay to call it the district because it's always going to be blurred. Right. But the more people that catch themselves saying downtown tells us it's working. The rebranding is working.
Yeah.
Well, it's important because the district is much different than downtown was. There are a lot more things going up here. And I remember there were all kinds of rumors that were going on also when I was younger and in high school. It's like, oh, they're going to cover the whole downtown area and they're going to make it a big mall and things like that. And it's just some crazy stuff, or they're going to level the whole place and everything, So, but here we are, now we have a mayor and a group over at City Hall that's really focused on developing this area, and I would say redeveloping. I guess redeveloping might be right, because back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, like it was the shit to be down here. This is actually where you wanted to be at. So I guess redeveloping is probably a better way to put that, because we do have a lot of stuff going on here. So that's pretty cool.
There is. And I think for some people and some families, saying redeveloping, it kind of feels different to them. The Hudsons, for one, they've made a move. They've made moves in general, but he has still been here. Your family, the Rodericks, has been here for, can't even remember the year that you guys moved.
1985.
Now.
Wow.
It's 1985.
Yeah. So for them, it's them. They're the cornerstones. They've been here. Brenda's been here for many years. Judy has got herself planted nicely at Revival. We got a lot of great things happening.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Did you do anything down here this weekend, Kim?
I worked the Santa Claus. I was one of the elves, which is one of my favorite things to do. I try to pick up as many shifts as possible, but we have had a little bit of a bug going around, and we just can't escape it during these kind of months. So,
well, we can't have Santa Claus, spreading
exactly.
the bug. That's for sure.
It was a lot of fun, though. We had our City Hall, and you know how we get when we start talking about City Hall. We had our City Hall Christmas party. Nice. It was also the same night that my 1983 graduation class, the girls every year have a Christmas party.
Okay.
And that's always a lot of fun.
Where did you have that at?
We had it at Manhattan's. We've had it there a couple
nice.
Years in a row now. I don't know what we'll do next year. Before that, I think we might have even been at Tinseltown when they first opened.
Okay.
Before that, we were someplace in Collinsville, so it was just kind of random. But that was a lot of fun. Great food at both places. good
Yeah.
drinks. Jenna on Saturday night with the Rotary had the Savor the City
Yep.
igloo event.
I saw that. So what was that about? Because I just saw pictures. So I've been out of the country for the last week.
I saw that.
So yeah, we'll talk about that here.
I barely
soon.
get out of the city. You're out of the country. So,
but yeah, I saw the pictures. What was the igloo thing?
well, so Rotary, we're a small Rotary. We're
Mhm.
trying desperately to rebuild. I shouldn't say desperately. We're doing very well at rebuilding, reinventing kind of what our Rotary is, because it was pretty small and inactive, especially during COVID. COVID took, had an impact everywhere. It had an impact on our Rotary Club as well. So we're trying to be more in the eye of the city, so they
Okay.
see what we're doing. Our money, we do scholarships, we do students of the month, we give to Rotary International and the causes that it takes on yearly, but we wanted to have a bigger impact in the city as well. So we came up with the idea. The wineries and some other restaurants, especially in downtown St. Louis, have the garden igloos, the clear garden igloos.
Okay.
And you can rent them out. You get in there, drinks, food, everything else. You go to the Rotary, you pay just to be in it, and then you pay for your food and drinks on top of it. It's in Grafton, and you overlook. And so we did this, and we thought, let's try it here. People are driving an hour away to go sit in one of these igloos. Let's purchase some igloos and make a fundraiser out of it. See where we can grow it. So we put our 6 igloos down here in the district. We were going to put them in the park, but we were worried about the wet ground from the rain or the Christmas lights that are going on in the park right now. So we put them on the closed off roadway there, decorated them for Christmas, and we sold them in groups of 6. And then we went to our local mom and pop restaurants, bars, places that provide food, and said, hey, we want to make this work. We want to help show people what you have to offer. Maybe you're not used to going into the speakeasy. Maybe you're not used to going into Pusaka, the sushi and that
they're
restaurant.
New owners, right? Pusaka, just
yes,
they're new owners,
they are
right? Okay.
a new ownership. So if it's outside your comfort zone, we want to give you that food and let you see what you're missing. So we literally reached out to most of our mom and pop restaurants. They get hit a lot for fundraisers.
Right.
So we want to show people what you have to offer. And we had a fabulous response from them. A ton of them gave food or drinks. And so we did a soft opening. As we all know, social media can be really bad. So if you get bad service once, everybody wants to go to social media and say, don't go. So we tried to have a really controlled crowd inside so that they could give us really good feedback about here's what's going to work, here's what's not going to work.
Sure.
So we had some strangers in there. We didn't know everybody. It wasn't just we're a small Rotary, so we couldn't be in them or else there would be nobody to serve
To work it,
Right.
yes.
So we served food and drinks for 2 hours. They got a taste of a ton of restaurants. They were absolutely stuffed by the time they left. And we plan on absolutely doing it again. We probably won't wait until next Christmas. We'll probably do some other pop-up events as the year goes on and we figure out how to grow this into a bigger, where we can impact more people.
Okay.
It's fabulous.
Okay. So just to kind of give, I guess, some credit on, you mentioned Pusaka and Speakeasy. What other businesses were involved in that?
Lord help me if I leave one out. So I will tell you that my family's owned Jerry's forever. So I get the downtown. I get the district and the importance of it. I've seen downtown when none of us wanted to be down here. I mean, I've
You've
watched it
seen
grow.
downtown from a weird perspective.
I did. Yes.
Yeah, Miss Jenna.
So I think I mentioned this last time, but I was a police officer for 30 years and we did prostitution details down
First
here.
First female police officer.
I was. Lord, I don't know how I made it through there. 10 out of 10. I 0 recommend that. But no, I loved that job until I didn't love it anymore. But, we had real problems down here, and you're only as strong as your worst neighborhood in town. So watching the district be rebuilt and rebranded, people should really appreciate that, because that problem was not going to stay on one block. That problem that we were having was going to continue to grow. So you have to decide which way you want to go. The people that have invested down here and tried to make it a better place, I give them a ton of props, because it wasn't easy work, and it was ugly for a while. So the rest, I'm going to start downtown and work my way up town, and hopefully, man, I really hope I don't forget anybody, because these businesses made this a success, not those
Sure.
of us that worked it.
And I'm
So
sure this information can be found on the Rotary website.
it can be found on the Rotary
Perfect.
website.
So if for some reason your business isn't mentioned, we hate to put her on the spot here, but check out the Rotary website also, because you can definitely find that information there. And if you're watching the show tonight, also, I encourage you to check out the Rotary website for a couple of things. One, learn how you can get involved. That's the primary thing right there. And also learn who else is involved and learn what they do, because I mean, it's really a great organization.
Yep.
So.
And that's how you're going to find out when we pop up another
There
one,
you
because
go.
it is very limited. We only have 6 of these igloos. So downtown, the Speakeasy donated meatballs. They were a huge success. I mean, we got asked for seconds of the meatballs.
Wow.
And then Jerry's did their twice baked potatoes. You can't have an event without Jerry's
No.
twice
Right,
baked
no.
potatoes. He actually pushed some equipment down to help us keep the food warm. And then Bobby from Kamara's Pizza did chili, cornbread, and pizza. And those businesses, not that the other ones didn't, but since they were right here with us, they came in clutch. They got us that food.
Yeah.
And it was really, we couldn't have done this without them and their expertise. We're not restaurant.
Sure.
We're not food service. So they really gave us some hints and helped us. So then I'm going to work my way up. Pavia's bar, and they did Italian beef, meatball subs, and then he donated some spirits so that those who wanted to partake in that had some. He sent it in crock pots. We plugged it right in. We could keep it warm. That
Nice.
so appreciative of that. Pusaka did their hibachi rice, chicken, rice, and vegetables. Everybody loved that. We got rave reviews on all of the food. I mean, we really did. Cake Pop Central, she's located outside the city limits. She's in the Mitchell area. She did dessert. Sue's Corner did some spirits as well.
Okay.
Mimi's Coffee.
Mimi's Coffee did hot cocoa. I'm trying to figure out when we went and picked this stuff up, the route that we took to get there.
So I'm going to check them out yet. Mimi's Coffee.
Mimi's
I drove by them
Coffee is
once.
fabulous.
Yeah, I've driven by, never close. You've been there?
Oh yeah, it's good.
Okay, I'll
And
check it out.
salad donated by
Salad was donated by Uncle Lenny's out in Pontoon Beach.
Love Uncle
So we
Lenny's.
had appetizers, salad, pizza,
beer,
wine,
There was a
pickle
lot.
shots. I mean, there was a little bit for everybody. And actually when whiskey cheese soup for Manhattans. I'm so glad I remembered that. Whiskey cheese soup.
Yes.
That was outstanding as well. But like I said, everybody said when the food got to us, it was hot, it was fresh, it was good. It was a great event, and I hope that we generated business that normally doesn't go into some of these small businesses. I hope we generated business from them and built their clientele, because that is really what our intent was, is to spotlight what we have right here, that it's in your own backyard. Go visit it, go get comfortable, because I know if you know me, you would never believe it. I probably have social anxiety more than most people realize. I don't like to walk into strange places that I've never been before. I'm super uncomfortable. Like if you open the door for me to go in first, I don't want to. Just go in before me. Don't use your manners. So I think there's other people like me that are like, well, I've never been there before. I don't know. Do I sit down? Are they going to seat me? So that's really what we wanted people to do, is get outside your comfort zone and see
Once you get inside a new place, is your back immediately to the wall?
My back goes to the either. Yes, I don't. Yes,
But we
I need
know
to
where
see
that
everything.
comes
I need to
from.
see what's coming at me. Yeah. And
That's
if
never
you go
gonna
with,
leave you.
well, if you go with a group of us, you'll see us fighting for that seat that has our back to the wall. So yeah.
That's like me when I go to eat somewhere. Like I would really much rather sit in a spot where I can see the door, mainly because I want to sit. If someone comes through the door or whatever,
Yes.
then I want to know what's coming at me. So I'm not a real big fan of sitting with my back to the
Before
door.
we move away from Rotary, is it too late to get in on the grapefruit and orange boxes?
It is.
I got mine.
It is.
I got mine.
The order. I snuck one in today, and I was pretty much told we're kind of at our wits' end. We don't have any more
Okay.
space.
Next
It was
year,
ordered last week, so
Don't miss it. If you've not done this, if you don't know about this, I don't know
I
where
don't know
they.
about this. What is
Oh my
this?
gosh!
A grapefruit and what box?
it's
Well, I think he's added apples.
apples.
I'm not. I always get the oranges. I don't
Mhm.
mess with the grapefruit, but I
That's
know that they are just as good. These oranges never disappoint. I don't even tell you how that happens or where they even come from, but they are the orangest of oranges,
The
and
orangest of
They're
oranges.
Yes.
magical oranges.
they are magical oranges. Now listen, you're about to make me go off rail, and
Oh,
you
here we
know
go.
it.
Here we
Pastor
go.
We know
Mark-
you can go off the rails.
Pastor Mark Maynard is the fruit guru, and he doesn't steer us wrong. The oranges are, and we're one of the only Rotary clubs, because the price goes up. We're one of the only Rotary clubs in this area that have stayed with that larger,
Oh, they're good.
more expensive
Yes.
orange. So yeah,
Well, I bought a
they're-
case, so you'll get.
yes.
I'll
Oh,
bring when they
I'm
come in.
definitely interested in these oranges. I've never
I
had
know,
them. So
Okay.
especially for the
definitely.
orangest of oranges.
the
The
oranges.
They're really
Gotta
good.
have that.
Oranges.
They're really good.
Yeah.
So, while we're on it, I guess real quick, we'll get to your role at City Hall here soon, but let's hear a little bit more about Rotary, because again, in school, I knew about Rotary exchange students and things along those lines, but I really never knew much or know much about
Yeah.
Rotary as an organization.
And how you get involved.
So you can get involved. We have meetings on Tuesday mornings, very early in the
Like
morning.
7 in the morning.
7:30 a.m. Get you fresh, get your coffee on your way. You're going to be, and we meet at Calvary Church on Maryville Road. Get a Rotarian, hit a Rotarian up to sponsor you. Get invited. We're, like I said, we're a small group. The Rotary in Granite City used to be really a big group, but there's requirements that you have to make so many
Mhm.
meetings that if you don't, you had to pay, and people get busy and they miss them. So the requirements we're more lax with our requirements. So it's made it a little easier to join.
Now, is it a personal, like, could I join, or would
Absolutely.
in the Metro have to join? Like,
No,
how
you
does that
could
work?
join as a representative of in the Metro. There also used to be some requirements. You only wanted one banker and one funeral home director and
Okay.
one. But like I said, it's been a little more it's progressed with the times.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of everything there. Literally a little bit of everything in Rotary.
And who benefits from Rotary?
So right now, our community benefits, the students benefit. We're big into working with the school to do Rotary Student of the Month and get them the recognition. The whole community, we do fundraisers. We give to different organizations. Rotary International takes a cause every year. It's a global cause. It's
Okay.
like this year it's polio, and so they came and talked to me about polio, and I'm like, okay, really, what do we need to help? I mean, I haven't heard polio.
And
in
didn't they eradicate that?
It's not eradicated in
Really?
certain countries. So Rotary International took on that cause this year. And as a local club, we give some of our, we pay dues and all of that. And it goes to help eradicate polio in the countries that are still having a problem with it. Because, I mean, I think as we've seen, if it's a problem in one country,
Oh, it's coming.
things come and go.
Absolutely. Well, Chuck, would you like to maybe be sponsored by somebody from Rotary? You seem a little interested. I think you're
Well, I mean,
an early
it is
riser.
an interesting thing, and sure, I'd love to hear more about it. Because I mean, I do a lot already as far as my schedule goes, but I've heard about Rotary forever. And obviously, matter of fact, I think what was her name? You might remember. I don't think we were in high school at the same time, but it was close. I was more with your brother, but her name was Amali Nevling, I think was her name. I think she was a Rotary exchange student, and then I think there were a couple Rotary exchange students, but it's always been something that I've been
So
interested in.
the city treasurer, Sherry Grimm, has hosted Rotary exchange students.
Okay.
Yes.
I could see that.
Yes.
And how perfect is that?
Yeah. So I would love to invite you to a meeting. I
Okay.
mean, it's a one and done if you don't like us, but I guarantee you'll see the camaraderie and because we have a small group, we're a very open, accepting, tight knit group. So I would love to have you come one
Okay.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah. I typically start work right at 8:00, but I can definitely talk to my I work from home, so it's kind of nice. So I can talk to my supervisor, maybe get them in some Tuesday morning. That would be awesome. Very cool. Bill, what'd you do this weekend?
If I turn my microphone up, not a lot, actually, just more work stuff. So a lot of work stuff. And I did relax a little bit, went and worked on a project that was kind of cool. Not going to say anything about that on here. Not that it's bad or anything. Just,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mysterious.
they're not mysterious. It was dirty. nobody else wants to do it. But
Gotcha. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it, right?
yeah, when they were doing the rest of it with tearing the stuff down. So that's all else.
Okay.
A little recovery mission, I guess. We'll go that way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll chat afterwards.
There we go. Yeah.
And
Do you want to come to Rotary? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, I have a business, so I could.
See?
We are part of a BNI chapter, but we're not part of
Nice.
Rotary.
So tonight you've all been duped. It's actually a Rotary sponsorship show that we're doing tonight.
I knew it. No, I'm just kidding.
Send your dues too.
Yes. I think people would expect nothing less from where's Jenna going with it today?
nice.
Where are we going?
No, that's exciting stuff. My weekend was kind of a long, extended weekend.
Tell us about that red light district.
So
Oh my gosh.
she
I
went
knew
right
it.
there.
I
man,
knew
like,
it. I knew she
right
would.
there.
Hot.
I
She
knew
went
it.
in hot.
She
too.
did. She did. Well, I didn't participate in the red light district. Let's get that out of the
Allegedly.
way to begin with.
Allegedly.
So, hey, there's no picture, so there's no proof, right?
And you know what else there isn't?
What's that?
A ring on it.
Oh,
I'm just gonna say,
wow.
all right.
No, but you know what? I did wear my bracelet the entire time.
Okay.
I did
very
wear my
good.
bracelet. Yeah. So, in
So
my
back to
mind and anyone
Amsterdam.
else's, huh? Yes. So yes, my trip to Amsterdam was really, really fun. It was a business trip. However, I had some I would say legal pleasures, but all that other crap is illegal over there, So, but no, it was nice. I got to meet some really great people. It was really interesting to kind of see the different cultures that are there. These people are some of the nicest people that I think I have ever come across in my entire life. I mean, they were polite, they were kind, they're holding the doors open. And I do have to tell you something about the bicycles, though. Dear Lord, have you ever been over there?
No.
No.
This is it's insane. Like there are bicycles literally every minute and a half coming through, and if you don't move, they will move you. Like
Are they like real cyclists or like the toughies on a Huffy?
No, these are like proper bikes. And let me tell you, when they're riding their bikes, also, I actually commented to a coworker out there, they're not hunched over like we are here. They're up, their backs are straight, hands. I mean, and they're just cruising and they're zipping through there too.
Side note, Jenna is quite the cyclist herself.
Oh yeah. So
I might move you out of the way if you're in my way, not on purpose, because I'm a little klutzy on my bike as well.
yeah, no, these people were determined. Like when they get on, and when they get on their bikes, they're ready to go somewhere. They're going.
Yep.
Like get out of their way because they're trucking through. It was funny because we were in Harlem, which is actually what Harlem in New York City was founded by. I didn't know that. I learned that this weekend or this week. But yeah, and did a canal tour through Amsterdam because there's a bunch of canals and things like that run through there. They were saying that in certain areas where they have to drain it, that the bikes are insane that are in the water over there. And there are more bikes in Amsterdam than there are people.
Wow.
And the reason behind that is because most citizens own more than one bike, because if one gets stolen, first of all, the people who steal it, they'll get to where they're going. They'll just chuck it in the canal.
Water.
They'll just dump it in the water or whatever. And so other people are like, well, my bike got stolen, so I'll just get another one or whatever. But it was really, it was crazy. It still fascinates me, even thinking about it right now, how thick the bicycles were. There were more bicycles than cars that when I saw.
So what you're saying is we're in the wrong line of business and we need to be a bike manufacturer in Amsterdam.
I'm not going to lie. The thought crossed my mind. Exporting bicycles over to Amsterdam or to the Netherlands, found out they had a king. I thought they had a president, but they have a king over there, which was, kind of interesting to be in a country that's ruled by a king.
Yeah.
So, that was interesting. And talking with my coworker also, it was really interesting. His kind of reverence for that position. Not a lot that we find over here for our own president or whatever, but just kind of the respect that they had for their king, which was, kind of cool. The food. Oh my gosh, the food was delicious. It was really good. It wasn't salty like most of the stuff that you get here. Even the bacon, although bacon was delicious, it wasn't as salty as we get it here. It wasn't as sweet like some of their sweet stuff. Wasn't as sweet as it is here and everything. And I went over there during a time they call Christmas market, and it was basically the center of the city. We just had vendors that were kind of everywhere, and they live what seems to be a much slower life there. Also, 6 o'clock, most stores are closed. The Christmas market only lasted until about 8 o'clock, and when it was 8 o'clock, they broke all their little sections down just to get them all set back up the next morning. So it was really, really a fun trip. It was pretty amazing.
It's a bucket list place for sure.
It is. And so I collect Starbucks mugs. Like when I go to the different places, with my new job, I travel quite a bit. So it was kind of cool because while I was over there, went to the Starbucks, of course, because there's Starbucks everywhere, right? And they had 2 mugs. They had one for the Netherlands and they had one for Amsterdam in particular. And I'm like, I don't know when I'm coming back here. So I just went and got one of each. And it was quite an experience. The flight was a little bit longest air flight I've done, 8 hours there, 9 hours back.
Nope.
So, and I'm not a plane sleeper. Like I can't sleep on the plane, So, however, while on the plane, I did watch the Barbie movie. And it was much better than I had expected it to be.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Chuck,
on behalf
traitor.
of all Barbies everywhere.
You're a traitor, Chuck.
I'll give you that.
I'm thoroughly disappointed in you right now.
I've never seen it. Does that make us?
Pound
there we
it.
go. I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just as
exactly.
a side note, you know how some things kind of have to come to me for a minute?
Yeah.
The Netherlands, Michael Jackson, or is that Neverland? I don't
That's
know. Never
Neverland.
mind, moving in. Yeah, right.
It's Neverland Ranch, or was.
I don't think it has a ranch on it, does it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Neverland Ranch.
Neverland Ranch.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. Made me think about that. Okay. Back to Jenna.
In the mind of
Yeah.
Kim.
So anyway, that was my weekend. My week. It was really fun, really great. Special shout out to, and of course, I told them about the show, so I'm hoping that they'll watch the replay in the morning because right now they're probably going to be waking up here real soon.
Well, good morning.
Yeah, Peter, Rule, and Monique. Thank you guys for hosting. It was pretty awesome. Had a great time. And
so, how long were you there? Because you said the weekend. You didn't go for just the weekend.
No,
that's not a weekend trip.
No.
Okay.
So I left Tuesday. I left Chicago Tuesday night, and I arrived Wednesday morning over there. That was the weird thing.
Yes.
The time and the night and the night difference was really weird. And then here's a really messed up thing. I left Sunday morning there at 11 o'clock, and I arrived in Chicago time-wise 2.5 hours later. Like I left at 11 o'clock in the morning. I landed at 1:15 in the afternoon. It was.
It messes you up for a minute.
It does.
Messes with my brain.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
So jet lag, I'm slowly getting over it now. Yesterday, so I flew 9 hours from Amsterdam to Chicago. Then I drove 4.5 hours from Chicago to St. Louis. And so that was a lot of travel for one day. And I'm not kidding, man. When I got home last night, I was like, it was messed up.
I'm just really surprised that you were in Chicago twice and you didn't get shot either time.
I was outside of Chicago.
I mean, still Cook County, whatever.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, that was my little adventure. And, of course I got some cheese that we haven't eaten yet or anything like that, so, but, yeah, I got a few souvenirs and everything. So kind of cool. If you get a chance, I highly recommend it, to head out there. So, yeah, my son watched my house. I was gone, which was kind of nice. That way I didn't leave it empty or anything. So
now Kim has to follow you up with what she did and what was fun. And like, how can you follow that? You went to Amsterdam.
I went to Amsterdam. How do you like that, Akron, Ohio?
Listen, I'll tell you something. You all just don't know about random places. Okay.
That's
all
true.
Right. Are the kind of souvenirs we bring back. But I'm really more interested in the Neverland thing now. Like, I'm going to Google that as I get home.
Well,
It's disturbing.
That would be a great show to have Nick on to talk about, some of the conspiracy theories between Michael Jackson, Neverland, and just like some of those other weird celebrity stuff that maybe he could.
And this being our anniversary show, we cannot go a minute longer without saying something about Nick. He is not just a guest.
No.
He hasn't been for
he's in the
months
Metro
now.
family.
And so is Andrew. I don't know where he went.
Wrestling.
Them damn sports.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Every
boy,
single
mom,
time.
I get it. Boy, grandma now too.
Yep.
All right, carry on, Andrew.
So yeah, it was a good weekend. So of course, this is our anniversary show, so we thought it'd be a great idea, to have Jenna to come back on the show and just kind of talk a little bit about, city government, a little bit kind of what she does as a city clerk, what that, entails, kind of things that Jenna, you're involved in, and just, talk a little bit about how this past year has gone for you guys, and just, maybe a little bit of, what you can share about, maybe what we're looking for in 2024. And I guess we can start with one of the first questions we asked you last time. What does a city clerk do?
Well, had I known what the city clerk does when I started this,
You probably would have made other decisions, huh?
yes. I say every day, run for city clerk. They said it'll be fun. There's a room in my office that is just like a little getaway conference room. We kind of have it as a quiet space, and on top of the door it says chaos coordinator. So that's what I feel like we do in the city clerk's office. But no, the real definition when you go to clerk training, because I go to a ton of training, I try and be the best that I can at the job, and the best way is to learn from other really good clerks. But we're the keeper of the record. So a lot of business gets done in City Hall.
Mhm.
A lot of business has been done in the city for the last 127 years. So we keep the record of it, try and maintain it in a way that is, if you come and ask for it, we can provide it, whether it's on paper, whether it's in a computer, whether I have to pull up a PDF. When I got there, it was all paper. Lots and lots and lots and lots of paper because, historically, our oldest files are in giant books written in like a quill pen. So if you ask me for an ordinance from 1896 when we started, I have to go pull a giant book and I will have to take a picture of it for you
Wow.
because it's glued into the book and there's no way for me to get it out. So we have an amazing historical record right there in the safe in our office in the vault, so it's protected. But we kind of act as this liaison between the city council and the public. A lot of information goes back and forth between us and the alderpersons. Hey, here's what some of the issues are that we're seeing come at you guys, or hey, so and so called us. They, a lot of our alderpersons have a full-time day job. They can't always be as responsive, so people will call us, and we will help make sure that the public knows, hey, they're going to call you back. It's just going to be after 4:30 this evening when they're on their own time. We do all the agendas. We do all of our FOIAs. We do vital records. If you were born in Granite City or in the surrounding area, or if you have someone who has passed away in those areas, we will have your death record. We do billing, we do business licenses, we do a little bit of everything in there. And so what we've been working on for the last 3 years, I figure maybe by 2025, we will be somewhere close. That's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. But we've been trying to find a way. One, we inventoried all the records that we had. That had not been done in my office for years and years, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I don't even know when. So when people call and ask for a record, we didn't even know where to go find it, really. There was really no method to the filing madness, or we didn't even know what we really had. There was a big flood in City Hall some years back, and we lost some very important files. So we inventoried everything. Here's what we have. Here's what we need to keep. Here's what we need to get rid of. Here's what we need to put on PDF. Here's what we need to retain forever. That was countless hours worth of work. We're a small office. There was only 3 of us. Now we just added a 4th person. We brought in some more duties in my office, and we brought, we just relocated an employee from City Hall to help us do that. And our goal, this is not just my goal, this is the mayor's goal, some other administration's goal, is to be able, we use the words virtual City Hall. There's not much you can do at City Hall that you don't have to come in person and handwrite something. And we're trying to update our website, which we know needs to be done, but Lord have mercy, that is not an overnight job. We are closer than we've ever been to launching this, but we're trying to make it a virtual City Hall where almost anything you want to do, business licenses, any paperwork that you need to file, you can actually get online and do it right there on the computer, and it will download and send straight to us, and that will stop people from having to come in.
Nice.
The people who have normal 8 to 4 jobs, we're trying to we're do our due diligence to make it a little more convenient for them as well. So that's kind of some of the big steps: organizing, setting whoever takes this job over next, setting them up for success and helping them be able to roll right into moving forward and keeping progress happening. So I always say it was like we were in the 1970s when I got there. At no fault to anybody, it is a ton of work, and you have to have experience in computers and a vision for where you want to go. And I've been very fortunate to have some really good mentors in some surrounding cities that are a little further along in technology than we are, but we're going to get there. 2025, I have my fingers crossed. I think we can do it.
Nice. So that's important, because nothing has ever been more frustrating to me than needing something or having to file something or something along those lines to be told, well, come in between 8 and 4:30. It's like, I have a job. You know, like I have a job, and I understand there are going to be some things that you're going to have to show some kind of identification for, or, right to have, specific information, whatever. But, there are just sometimes that, like I just need something, and I don't have time to come in and fill out a form or anything. So digitizing all that and streamlining that is, it's critical. I think it's even more critical now to city operation than what it has been in years.
For years and years, when we think about or have thought about the city clerk, it was paper, like you said. Everything was paper. We can't even go any further without talking about how you have taken that up a notch. And like you said, no fault of anybody from the past. Complacency happens. Technology improves, all of those things. But you can have all of that new stuff. But if you don't have somebody that wants to push it forward, that wants to drag everyone else into the modern age, whether they're ready for it or not, you're not going to move. And it's just going to be the same old, same old. That's not how it is at the clerk's office anymore. No. It's totally been revamped. She would know how much more has to go. I do appreciate that Jenna has also kept nods to the past, my mailbox being one of them. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Your mailbox.
Yes, aldermans have a mailbox, a wooden mailbox.
Okay.
I was extremely excited. And then there was nothing in it.
But hey, I have to start putting things in there.
So anyway, when I mentioned it to her, she's like, yeah, well, don't worry about it because we're going to get rid of those. I'm like, oh my God, please don't. And she's like, chill, I get it. No, they're staying.
So even if you do get rid of it, you have to have one there.
We're never going to get rid of it.
That Kim.
It's kind of funny. We used to have just this really weird way of sending mail to the different departments throughout the city, and it wasn't in a very secure. You could see people's mail in there, and while we were doing inventory and cleaning out files, I found in the back of a room that I didn't even know we had files in. That's how many we had, like 4 rooms full of files, and it was all the way to the ceiling and all the way back. So when we got to the back of it, was this 1800s. I don't even know what was kept in it. I think old death certificates were kept in it, but it's this armoire. It's 8 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. It has tons of just slats in it, drawers. So we moved it. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece of furniture. If you love furniture, it is very, I'm not a furniture person. And we get more compliments on this filing system. And so we made it the mail center. So the doors close. So when the mail comes in, my office separates it. We send it to all the different apartments. People come over and pick it up. So the alderpersons do have drawers in there. And they have slots in there.
And
some of the alderpersons were like, stop putting things in there. We never come check it. So
I'm like, I'm going to mail myself shit. So.
And we hurt her feelings by not giving her one.
And then
Kim's
I get so excited.
It is a beautiful.
I get there, and there is something in my mailbox, but it was addressed to Joe Schuler.
Yeah, one of the older.
Like, whatever.
Kim's at her kitchen table. Dear Kim.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm writing to let you know that we have our own mailbox.
Yes.
No, we don't know how long they're going to let you keep it. But girl, you rock it until it's gone.
Alderperson Pearson, 2000 Edison Avenue. I'll make sure if you mail or anything.
What I'm hearing is we need to have like the kids do coloring contests and send them to Kim Pearson.
There you go.
So that they can be in her mailbox.
You don't know how happy that would make me.
Everybody have your kids color some pictures. What was that address again?
2000 Edison Avenue. You don't even have to, you put alderperson, alderman, alderwoman,
I
however
don't
you
care
want
Yeah.
to do it.
call it.
Pearson on it. It's going straight
Yeah.
into her mailbox.
Send 'em.
I'll be the one to get it. So.
And I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Back to Jenna.
I will say, let me make one more comment about the mailboxes. I mean, we talk about electronic mail and stuff like that, people getting hacked. That is actually, in my opinion, a very secure way of communicating. It may be a little slower, but it's actually a pretty more secure way because it goes through the mail and it goes put in a box, and then I mean, I don't know if you're the only person that has access to it, but you're a very limited person that has access to it. Whereas if the emails get hacked or something along those lines, so I mean, I think it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
Yeah, these are monitored all the time. So
Definitely
Yeah, get it.
appreciate that you keep a nod to that sort of thing. One of the other things that you put on the spur of the moment, I can't think of what it's called, but you recently found a document.
So yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's old news in my office, but it's really
not
old.
old
It's
news.
really old news, actually. So, doing this inventory, I found this stack of pictures, and it was pictures of the big warehouse fire in the 90s, 2000s, whenever that happened. There were some other things, and we're just kind of going through everything, really trying to figure out what we had. And I found this large cotton material folder that looked old. It was a big trifold, and when I opened it, a couple pieces kind of came out, and I realized it was our original 1896 city charter. It is an
Wow.
actual 127-year-old piece of paper. I think 127 years. Am I right?
Mhm.
Yes. 127-year-old piece of paper that was signed by the Secretary of the State at the time, establishing us as a city. And this paper was
Wow.
in bad shape. So I closed it immediately, and it was in kind of a damp room. And I was like, oh, now I'm responsible for this piece of paper. Like, this is big. So I called around and I found a museum curator that sent me to a St. Louis based art and frame design who specializes in old documents. She restores them for historical purposes. So I immediately took a picture of it. I called her. I said, I need to send you pictures. I need to see what you can do. So she brought in a chemist, and I drove this. I seat belted it into the car.
Oh, yeah.
I drove it over to St. Louis, and I gave it off to her. And I said, we need this. I need it forever. I need it to never see the elements again, however you have to
Right,
do
right.
that. She brought in a chemist. They tested the paper to figure out the best mat to use, the best chemicals to use. The pieces that were missing, she was able to replace some of them were not. And we also didn't want to lose the integrity of the document that we had, so I didn't want her to add to it. I wanted it to be as is. So I went to the mayor and I begged him for a budget, because this clearly was not a $25. My budget is not near what everybody else is in the city. We're a small department.
Sure.
So he said, if you have to go over budget for this, I authorize it. We'll find the money, go spend it. So we had it professionally framed. And while it was over there being framed, I started talking to some people who work at US Steel, and I was explaining the document that we had. And I said, do you guys think that you could build some kind of display case for it? Because my budget is super limited, and I know you have the ability. And she said, absolutely. And the next thing you know, I had 5 different departments from the mill. I had a meeting with them, showed them a picture of the document, and they crafted. Stop by City
You
Hall
have
and
to
see
see
this.
it.
So it's
Please
on display,
stop by.
huh?
It's right outside my
Oh,
office.
perfect.
They took a 1920s redwood forest fence. It was redwood from the redwood forest that was a fence around the original Commonwealth US Steel in the 20s. They had kept it. They built the frame with that. The metal inside is corrugated. Oh, I'm going to use bad words. Metal that was from a building in the 50s. So the frame and the glass that it's in was, the welders worked on it. Everything in the frame was made over the years
Here
up
in Granite
until
City, huh?
yes.
That's
And
it.
it's
That's amazing.
and they built they used a water laser to put 1896. It is a beautiful frame. It weighs a ridiculous amount of money. Nobody is ever going to steal this. They came over and mounted it on the wall, charged us nothing for it. And so we even have a QR code next to it so you can scan it and read the history of not only the document, but the frame that goes with it. And it is an incredible piece of art hanging there. And it's literally
It's right outside the clerk's door.
Yes.
Next time you're up paying a bill or just downtown park, run in. It's worth it. It's worth
Next year's budget, I'm begging the mayor for some lighting to go over it, because it really does need some museum type lighting.
Special lighting for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to be conscientious of how much we're spending on it,
Sure.
but it
Mayor,
is our
can Jenna have
future.
a little bit of
Please,
extra
just
money?
I think
Just
the
a
lighting.
little bit to put some light.
How do you respond to that, Mr. Mayor?
I think he
How do
said
you respond
yes.
to that?
No, he sees the
No
vision.
comment.
So
No comment. Jeez.
yeah. We're working. I mean, it's things like that we're doing. But also, going back to, you talked about streamlining some things. When I started, I took a picture of it and how much paper we used for one agenda.
Mm-hmm.
One agenda, because we have 10 alderpersons. Then you have the mayor, me, and the city attorney, plus all the department heads. And all of these people need to know what's going on the next agenda, where
Mhm.
they need to be, what their role in it is. And so some of these are 200-page agendas. If you have the budget in there, the budget alone is 50 pages. So these agendas, one agenda would be, this big per person. And they were copying it on single page. Like, you couldn't even put, and I'm watching this happen for my first couple meetings. And I thought there has to be a better way to do this. There has to be a better way. And it's hard to get people to see the vision when you're new and, they're used to doing it their way. So I finally one day went and I took all the reams, all the stacks of paper that we used, and I put it on a stool. And I said, this is how much paper you guys just used. And then I realized during COVID, we were mailing these
Oh my gosh.
to each alderperson and the department heads, first class mail. And I thought, how much, this is not, I mean, I understand there's a purpose for it. And I'm not saying
Sure.
anybody was misspending funds, but I thought, it's 2021. We can email this stuff.
Yeah.
So we got a new program. We presented it. It was ARPA funds. So it was funds that had to be used to help go contactless
Sure.
and the other ARPA restrictions that came. And we implemented a program that streamlines the whole process. You do it all by computer now. And we do have a few alderpersons that like theirs printed out and handed to them. We do it on a double-sided sheet.
I'm one of those.
I get it, though.
But I'm not going to stay one of those.
But we put it in a folder and we hand those to them. They come pick them up. Or, I mean, she's on my way home a couple times. She said, I'm stuck at work. I need to know what's going on the agenda. Will you drop it by? We will drop it by. I mean,
I
we're
get
very
my
easy
email
to work with.
and I study my email. But once I get there, I feel like I need that paper to follow.
And it goes
'cause I'm
fast.
still learning.
It goes fast, those meetings.
So what I heard, Kim, is that you like killing trees.
I love killing
big
trees.
tree
I
killer,
do.
man.
We
I
kill
do.
about one a year. I think we killed 10 a meeting 3 years ago. So
And you single-handedly kept the post office in business.
yes. So that's those things like that is
But
really
I'm going
what
to
our goal is.
transition to the laptop eventually.
iPad.
No, I think we have laptops.
We do have I wanted iPads. IT thought that that laptops would be better. Okay.
I'm more of an iPad person.
I am too.
So
Did
yeah,
we get you your computer yet?
No,
you were
not yet.
promised one.
Yes.
Note to self: get Kim her computer.
Hey, Siri.
So those are the things that we work on, and it's really I tell my workers all the time. I think we all lose sight. I shouldn't say we all lose sight of it. We don't lose sight of it. I think we need reminded sometimes. We as City Hall workers are public servants. I think people see your public servants as your first responders and your people that come to you. But the reality is we're public servants, regardless of what our role is at City Hall. And our job is to make it more convenient for our community to communicate with us. And my parents' generation are always going to want to pick up the phone and call or
Right.
come in person. And I
Right.
respect that. And we're here for them. My generation, we're a little more, I'm going to send you an email. Some of us are going to send you a text, but my son's generation is they don't want face-to-face communication. They don't want telephone communication. They want to do it all via a computer. If they could Snapchat you the information, that's the way they would want to do it. And trying to bridge that gap and be respectful and to all of the generations while making it still convenient that we can do what we need to do. It's a big challenge, but
it's one that you are meeting though.
Trying hard.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And definitely want to mention this about Jenna too. Not only is she taking, bits of the past and preserving them, trying to pull us into the future with her. Jenna is the first ever woman police officer. You broke that ceiling.
Yes.
You were instrumental in Girls on the Run. Now we're into, here you are as our city clerk, and it's not just a title for her. Jenna is the Granite City's first ever certified municipal clerk. I wrote it down because I didn't want to miss any of those words because they're important. She is the first ever Granite City certified municipal clerk that is working towards a master municipal clerk. Awesome. She is also our District 9's president. She's only been in office. This is her first term. This is unrealistic, actually.
Yeah, well, I think it's really what I really liked the most, but what I've heard is that the communication thing is it's a huge deal because you're not dealing with just a newspaper generation. You're literally taking the communication styles of 4 different generations and finding ways to meet those needs. And when you said that about public service and being public servants, I see that as 2 sides. One is it is very important for most of and I know you're not technically a politician, but I hate
politics.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you have to run for office.
I get it. Yes, I'm elected.
But I think that I do think it is lost on a lot of people in the political realm that I work for somebody else, not just somebody else. You work for 38,000 somebody else's.
Yep.
And the mayor works for 38,000 somebody else's, and whatever the last census was here. But
we'll go with that.
I love the fact
that
I love the fact that you acknowledge that we're servants and we need to make it's our job, as hard as it may be, because you guys have a very thankless job. When you're talking about anyone up there in City Hall or in any kind of government role, it's a very thankless job. Yet you guys know that you work for other people, and the fact that you take it that seriously to say that, especially publicly, it's awesome because you're going to have some people out there, and I'm sure you heard this as an officer. I'm your boss. Yeah. You work for me. You know what?
I pay your salary.
That may be true, but the bottom line is, as a community, we all have to work together. And I think that there are some politicians that do lose sight of that. So I think that's awesome. On the communication realm, I never thought that I would see a time where, newspapers were becoming the way of the dodo. You know what I mean? They are. But not only that, for a long time, we all thought text was going to be it when we all had our brick cell phones that we were, with the T9 communication, then came, Messenger and then normal text and everything. It's like a lot of people that I talk with and support, I probably do, I wouldn't say more support by text, but I do a significant amount of support by text. And that's with some of the older generation also, saying that sometimes people don't want to see somebody or actually talk to somebody.
Our business takes in more text messages and more website-based communications than any. I don't talk to people on the phone hardly ever.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I like a little bit of all of that mix, though. I want to go.
That's our generation. We're enthralled a little bit about it. Some of us are scared by it, and then some of us. I'm kind of like you to a point. Like if I'm going to read something, I kind of like to have it in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will read stuff online. When I was taking college classes, a lot of my classes were online classes. And I was like, man, I don't really like this very much because my textbook, because in high school, I had a book in my hand, and I didn't start college until later. But then in college, it was starting to transition to a lot of, online stuff. So being able to manage and navigate that style, I think is great. And I think it says a lot for the city also that, and don't get me wrong, this isn't, praise Jenna and I by any stretch of the
kind of it
imagination,
is
but
though.
well, here's the thing. What I want to say is the way that you've handled your role and the way that you've
Remarkable.
the way you've kind of encompassed all this into your spot. It's you've owned all this, I guess, is the best way to do it, and you're looking for ways to actively improve the
Yeah.
city. That says a lot to me, and that gives
With
me a lot
bringing
more.
so much fun in the workplace too, and that's not something that most of us are even privy to.
Yeah.
We all know how it is in our own workspace. If you can just find something to help the day through.
Yeah.
None of us love our job every single day, every single minute
What?
of it.
You don't?
No. Sorry, all you little people. No. There's no, as a matter of fact. Stay home tomorrow. But Jenna brings an
So
element.
she's not only bucking to be a one-term alderman, she's bucking to lose her
Okay,
business.
I wish
at
you
the
all
same
would
time.
stop
I know.
saying one
Stay-
term because I'm not doing a full term. I told you I'm leased month to month, right?
She's
we all-
actively trying.
I say that too.
Please,
Mayor
please.
said something the other day about a third term. I go, yeah, no.
Let's talk about the seal.
Well, hold on, I
That's
just want to say
something
one more
else that
thing.
you brought in
Yeah,
that is a visual.
Let me say one more thing, just to kind of close up what I was saying. The work that I see you doing, the work that I see the mayor doing, some other things going on in City Hall. There are times that I am not a fan of the city. That's no secret to anybody. But when I see people that are doing like yourself and the mayor that are doing things like this, it gives me more confidence. Even sometimes when I lose confidence, I have to stop and remind myself that there are people out there that give a shit about the city, and those who don't, give a crap, they're never going to give a crap, whatever. But from me, thank you, for the job that you guys do up there. I mean, it's really cool, and I enjoy seeing that. So
I appreciate that. We work well together, but we're also brutally honest with each other.
yeah, which you have to be. Sometimes.
There have been
Yeah.
times that the mayor and I, and I say we're like siblings a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mike and I have known each other, well, for over 50. I mean, my dad and his dad met when they were 7 years old and remained friends. My dad recently passed away, and my
Mhm.
dad's last visitor was Mike Parkinson's
Wow.
dad. I mean, that's the families have just known each other forever. So Mike and I call each other on our own crap. Like he would come to me and say, "It's not going to work. You're just not headed down the right path."
Mhm.
And you have to rethink. Okay, let me regroup. Is it worth fighting for, or is this something that is just it's I'm being hard headed and I'm
Yeah.
insisting it my way, and vice versa. He's come to me and we've had some words because we're adults and we can have words and then move on together. And
Mhm.
it's he said the last argument we had, it's not personal. And no, it's not personal, but it's really personal,
Yeah,
because
no.
we both take
Absolutely.
our jobs. The job is personal for both of us. And
Yeah.
that's, it causes passion, it causes feelings, it causes all of that. But that's our generation. We are our jobs. That
Mhm.
represents who we are if you're judging us on that. So, but I think that's instrumental in that everybody in City Hall right now can say, I don't see that vision and I can't support it.
Mhm.
I'm not going to go to the world. I'm not going to go to Facebook and tell everybody I don't support what you're doing right now,
Right.
but I just want you to know how I feel about it. And we respect each other and we move on. And I think it makes all of us rethink, are we headed in the right direction? Let's stop and regroup. Let's figure out what's worth fighting for. So I think it just works right now. And when it stops working, that's when it's time for me to move on to something new. But right now it's working. It's going as well as it can. It's stressful work. It drives me crazy. Some days I walk out of there and think, wow, this is not worth the money that they're paying me. But
Yeah.
overall, we have a vision. And that I say every day when somebody says, why are we doing it this way? And I said, well, because we're a work in progress. And that's the way I see it right now. But if you have a better
Mhm.
way of doing it, don't be
I
afraid to
love
tell
that you
me.
don't say, because that's the way we've always done it.
And I also say, and she will tell you, if something comes wrong on the agenda, it's wrong. I mean, it's flat out wrong. And we will start the meeting by telling the 10 alder persons, this is wrong. We did it wrong.
But
We made a mistake.
yeah,
This
Yeah.
is how we're going to fix it. This is, we've looked up how to fix it. So we own whether we're doing it right or wrong. We're never going to come in and say, no, we're right and you're wrong. We're going to say, let us look at it your way and see if we can. We had a guy come in today and said, your bicycle ordinance is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It says I'm supposed to come here and register my bike. You'd go back to Amsterdam. I don't want to register every bike in Granite City. It's unrealistic. And so, I've already reached out to legal and said, hey, can we look at this ordinance? So, and that was just one citizen saying, I thought I had to come register my bicycle. So that's what we're doing. We're just saying, yeah, that's working. That's not working. Let's fix it. Let's find a way to fix it.
Yeah, I think you're kind of like you're the middle of everything. When something comes about, an issue, things need to change. Things have changed now. We need to figure out what to do and how to handle it. As the alderman, and this is just my way of thinking, it's probably not at all correct, but I feel like we are like the lawmakers,
Absolutely.
the voters on
That's
it.
exactly what we do.
And then we all talk about it. It's brought to us, and then we talk about it, and we are advised, and we listen, and we talk among ourselves, and then we vote on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's out of our hands, and it's passed on to Jenna to record, to figure out every single meaning. For example, I'm going to throw one at you. To this day, how many calls do you get about, can somebody be knocking on my door?
Oh, solicitors, Lord have mercy.
That has been forever.
It's unconstitutional to say they can't be in your city at all. So
Right.
that's
So
our legal advice.
what has our city, our clerk's office done to make the citizens feel safe?
We give them a very specific card that they have to have on a lanyard around their neck. And if they don't have it, they can't be soliciting. Even if they have it in their back pocket or in their car or anything else, if it's not around their neck, they can't be soliciting. So it's illegal.
Is there a charge for
$150 to get a solicitor's license, and they're only good for a limited amount of time. And some people don't like that ordinance, and it's okay if they don't like it. I didn't make the ordinance, but
Sure.
I have tried to figure out a way to make it fair for the people soliciting and for the people. People like to take advantage of your older,
Absolutely.
your
blue
older
laws and that,
demographic,
yeah.
and
Oh, okay, yeah.
if you can't trust the people that are soliciting, don't show people your power bill. I mean, there's a lot of
Right.
personal information on your power bill. Don't show it to people. But older people think, oh, I'm going to save money. My power bill is $400 now. It used to be $100. These people are going to help me. Not everybody's there to help you.
Right.
I'm not saying solicitors are bad, but if somebody's asking you to show them private information and you don't know that person, don't show them private information. If you
Right.
have elderly neighbors that you have communications with and solicitors are out, maybe have a talk with them. Don't show them your personal information. Nobody's ever going to see my power bill. It's not.
They don't even see it. Yeah.
Right.
So let me
So-
ask you a question about because I do have a note down here that I wanted to ask you a little bit about the business license
Mhm.
versus solicitor license, because most solicitors, well, I guess let me ask this question first. If you're a solicitor for money or a solicitor for organization, do you still have to have a solicitor's license for either one?
It's so there's the gray area in the law. We are never going to make your Girl Scouts get a solicitor's license.
Right.
We are never going to make a charitable organization. That is our ordinance. It is written plain as day. If you are a not-for-profit, a 501c3, a veterans organization, don't put me on the spot to list all of them. We don't license you. You're tax exempt. We don't license you. That is a city ordinance. That's.
But if you want to make money door to door,
But if you're going door to door to make money and you're not one of those entities, then you have to have a solicitor's license. Yes.
Gotcha.
So
And we have to have it. Some of these people that are going door to door, they're aggressive.
they're aggressive, and one day they're selling pest control, and the next day they're selling solar panels, and the next day they're selling
meat from the back of a truck.
and they're doing
And they have
several.
their story down too. This is my own experience.
They're
and
pushy
there
to
is-
me. And even when I tell them,
Yeah.
I license you, I know you have not been in my office. They say, well, can we see your power bill? I said, I'm going to show you my power bill, but you're not going to like the way you're going to look at it. And my husband actually told me I was the rudest person in the world to this solicitor, but he was soliciting illegally.
Did
And
you
even
get-
when I called him out on it, he still was going to go on with his spiel.
Did you
So-
get his standard answer of where's your lanyard? It's in my boss's
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
I mean,
I talked to the city clerk. She gave me a license. I said, oh, what's Jenna like? And he said, oh, blah, blah, blah. I go, I am Jenna. Well, can I see your power bill? My words from there they're not
Well, I'm telling you,
repeatable.
some of these guys
Yes.
clank when they walk. I mean,
It
I
was
get
bad.
that because I mean, it's just, yeah, some of them are rude. I had a guy come to me one time, not in Granite, but he was about to get met with a golf club because he comes up to my door and he's like, this was years ago, and he's like, yeah, I'm doing this and this. I'm like, okay, cool, and he was like, so what do you think? And I'm like, well, and at the time I was married. I was like, well, let me talk to my wife. He's like, you gonna let her run your life? And I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
And he said, you gonna let her run? I'm like, you need to leave. He said, well, I want to do this. And I walked inside and I got my golf club. And I'm like, you need to leave, buddy. And he left and hear back from him again. But yeah, some of them are just stupid when it comes to that.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've had your fair share of the rudeness
it's bad.
from our own people, from a lack of not knowing any better and thinking you're being picked on. There's just so many things. Food trucks. I have gotten so many messages in my inbox about what can a food truck do? Where can they be? Can they be down here on this lot if the business is not open? Can they be on a sidewalk? And all you can really do is just like this. Call Jenna and ask her. Call
She's
Jenna.
passing the buck is what she's doing.
That's all right.
It's
We're
a-
there.
I would like to say that every ordinance is cut and dry, black and white, but that is not the truth.
No. How many?
Like most things, it's a fluid situation.
It is. And people call, how many ordinances do you think we have in the city of Granite City?
Oh
I
my
tell this to
gosh.
people all the time.
I don't
How many
even
do you
know
think
this.
we
How many
have?
actual ordinances?
How many actual ordinances that govern what you can and cannot do in the city of Granite City?
Are we talking about active ordinances?
Active.
If
I
they're
can
an
go
ordinance,
pull
they're
them.
active.
I can go pull them
Okay.
and show you a hard copy of it.
I'm going to say
Price is Right rules. Because we're going to guess too.
99 cents.
$1.
$1. I'm going to say 8,000.
Oh, I was going to go a whole lot less, like around 1,300. Bill?
2,200.
10,189.
Oh, wow.
10,189
Yeah.
ordinances.
You're going to the showcase.
I am
Yeah.
going to the showcase showdown.
Really?
Yes.
10,000.
And there will be, by next Tuesday night for our next meeting, there will be another, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And then resolutions is a whole other thing. They were never
Yeah.
numbered up until I got there. So we don't even know how many resolutions we have. So yeah, trying to streamline that process and
Yeah, I
make
can
that a
imagine.
better
It's not
system.
It's not a fun job. Before we run out of time here, I would like to. Are you good on time?
Totally fine. On
Okay,
time.
awesome. People, we talked a little bit about progress earlier, and in that, and it seems that there's definite forward momentum that's happening down at City Hall. 2023, we're coming to the end of the year here. What could you tell us that's been moving forward in 2023, and maybe what we might be looking at for 2024?
You honestly never know what's going to come out. So I'm on the main floor. There's 3 floors at City Hall. The second floor is the top floor. It makes me crazy. Basement,
Right.
my floor, upstairs. I call the top floor the penthouse. I say it. I some people are like, well, blah blah blah. No, I think it's funny. I call them the penthouse. That's the mayor's office up there. But you never know what's going to come out of the mayor's office. That man always has some plan in his brain, and again, work in progress. The minute that plan doesn't look like it's going to work, he's going a different direction. So I can honestly tell you, I have no idea what's coming from the top floor. It's the best roller coaster ride ever. So we'll see what's coming
You're talking
from
Screaming
from
Eagle
there.
or the
But
boss?
I have been working. Yeah, well, the Screaming Eagle is the perfect analogy for this. But I've been working with some people up there on his floor as well. A new website. I'm going to tell you. We have the pieces finally in place. We've been trying to do this for a couple years. Number 1, it's expensive. Number 2, it's time consuming. Number 3, you have to have the content and a lot of different people providing that content to make it look good. So we have been diligently working towards that. So I am very confident that's going to happen in 2024. And with that is going to come all of your online forms and a better way to get that information to us. So when I say we'll have it done by 2025, that's because we are going to spend the first 6 months of 2024 making sure that we're on the right track. And when we do it, we're going to do it right. I don't want to be in 1990. You know, I said we started in the 1970s. I've got
Right.
us somewhere close to the 90s. I would love to be in the 2000s with this website. So that is coming. Let me think here. Ooh, man. A lot of the work is going to be towards that. Oh, I'm going to tell you by 2025, I would love for us to have our city council meetings via YouTube or online or somewhere that you can watch it besides the cable channel that
Agreed.
nobody has. And this
Agreed.
isn't nobody's fault. Some people think we're trying to hide something with that. This has nothing to do with transparency. That room is not set up to do that. This microphone is probably 50 years advanced to what we have in there now. We have been trying to get new microphones and everything in that room for 2 years, and we can't find anybody to come in and do it. It's bidding those jobs out and finding the product. It started during COVID and it's moved forward. So, and then we've had a changeover in IT as well. So that's been an issue. So I promise you that I shouldn't promise that. I sound like a politician there. If I have my way, with this new website will come where you can click on it and watch our council meetings happen right there and actually be able to hear what's going on, because I recognize that we're not there, but honestly, we've had some struggles trying to get there. Sure. So those are two huge projects that are going to come out of my office, and getting things more available to people electronically. Who knows where else we will take off to. Some days we just get ideas that we're like, yes, that's what we're going to do. And that's what we're going to move forward with. So we're a work in progress. I will continue to say that.
When we do get new advanced things in the chambers, the one thing that drives me crazy as spending 2 years out in the pews and then being at the table now, the audio, number one, and number two, I always hated sitting out there while a presentation was going on. Now they do have the TV at least turned that way, but there has to be a more modern type way to do it. You hadn't thought about our microphones, but they really are subpar.
And part of the problem is, and what IT had to teach me, and you probably know this, I can go get good microphones and put them out there, but if they don't work with the system that they're bringing in to make this a virtual room, then I've just wasted money on that. And you have to adapt what you get in there to there. So it has to almost be a package deal. And honestly, I've watched the mayor pound his fists on the table and scream, and why can't I get this done? And it has been, it's been a nightmare. So
maybe Tech Doc,
come bid it. Lord have mercy.
I
I'll put
totally
the bids
will.
Yeah.
I've been doing this stuff for the past 20
Look
years.
how much better we got.
I think I know a guy.
Yeah, but with that comes the new website. So
Yes.
now that we're ready to I mean, we are rolling. You are seeing some things coming to council saying, here's the money we need to spend. It's been allocated through ARPA. It's just now permission to spend it. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely we are getting there. But I think what everybody needs to recognize is how far behind we were. So we have to skip 100 steps to get where we need to be, whereas some people are building upon what they had. And it's very expensive. It's very time consuming. And trying to get people to do it coming out of COVID was very, very, very difficult. So,
right. Yeah, I think a lot of people, they look at where technology is now and they say, you need to be here. This is where you need to be. You need to be here. Like, according to some people, what you're seeing in 2025 should have happened 2 years ago. You know, but the challenge that any small municipality or small city, which in the grand scheme of things, we are still a relatively small town, you know, they just don't have that technology because it wasn't focused on back in the day. It wasn't focused on, you know, in the 90s and the early 2000s when things were starting to really come about, you know, but now that we have the knowledge, we're able to skip 100 steps because those 100 steps right now, 10 years ago, may have only been 10 or 15 steps, you know? So I'm excited for what you guys have going on down there. You know, again, I get encouraged when I see some positive things go through. The whole opening to Christmas thing, I thought was very well done. You know, as far as like, you know, just everything that happened from the parade to like the lighting of Civic Park. I thought that was just really good.
The lighting of City Hall Christmas tree was fantastic.
Yeah, just those things in our community. And what
Santa
I do
was
see,
there. A gingerbread lady was there. We had some nice songs sung by Holy Family. The treescapes. I mean, can you even call those Christmas trees?
They're beautiful.
The woodland forest that is just Christmas magic there. It's worth stopping in. If you haven't been to your city hall,
Oh, come stop and see us. You never know what's going on there.
No, you absolutely do not.
Well,
But
that's a
it will
good
be
question. I
worth-
bet people don't understand it. Can you just go into City Hall?
It's your building. It's the people's building. It is the people's building. We are there from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I don't love our hours. I don't set the hours. Union workers. I mean, honestly, we're there 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is a beautiful building. It's old. I wish
it's
I knew what
unique
year.
Also, I like the way that
It's
shaped.
unique. It's
in the way
beautiful
that it's shaped,
inside.
Yeah.
See what's going on. I mean, just stop in. The trees that are in there in the rotunda are beautiful. Our rotunda is beautiful. The
Mhm.
acoustics are in there. We have one man
my
that every
gosh.
time he comes to pay his sewer bill, he stands in the rotunda and sings a line of a song and then leaves. And I love that because you never know when I'm just going to get my karaoke microphone out and sing a song in the rotunda. And I can't sing. Sometimes I tap dance, but it is intense work. I mean, we do take a ton of complaints in there.
Mhm.
There's always somebody angry at the city there
Mhm.
to voice their opinion, even if it's something we did or not. So we spend 8 hours together. I say all the time, the people I sit next to in that office, I spend more time with them. I spend more awake time with them
Yeah.
every day than I spend with my own family.
Sure.
So we try to take 5-10 minutes to team build because we're all in different offices trying to accomplish different tasks
Mhm.
and trying to do it together. That causes tension sometimes.
I don't think a
just-
lot of people understand that.
No,
though.
building and zoning's job is completely different than the clerk's job, but yet we're trying to get to the same end result, but we have to
Yeah.
take two different ways to get there and deal with two different clientele of people. So
I
what-
know you have gotten some pushback or this or that on the fun things that you do. But here's what I
if you
learned
don't
about
read
that.
social media, you don't know you've got
Well,
negative feedback.
Over the time you
Yeah.
you have,
No.
whether it would be cotton candy part or whatever. But that taking that team building thing that you just said, I think I'm about as social as a person can be. I don't meet a stranger. Every place I ever walked in, I've already been there 100 times in my mind. But recently I had that happen to me, that team building thing.
Mhm.
Now I have known the aldermen that are sitting at that table. Some of them I have known for a very long time, 40 years, particular one of them. And one that sits right next to me, I've just met recently. But at the Candy Cane Parade, I was in the parade with two of my aldermen, Mary Davis and Jerry Harrington, Ward 2, 4. That 3 hours that we spent together talking and laughing and complaining and just goofing off bonded us so differently. I would have never, when you could have said those words before and I'd been like, yeah, whatever, but no, until you actually experience that. And you guys have had that, I'm sure, in the corporate world and things.
Mhm.
I've always worked from home or at home. So for me, that was kind of foreign. I'm like, well, everybody bonds. What does that even mean? No, until you
they
take
don't.
something
No, no.
out. I
No,
would
they
not
don't.
have traded what happened in that parade
Mhm.
for anything else.
Yeah. We're 35 different personalities spending 8 hours a day. Not everybody wants to be on the computer like I want. They want their paper copies. And so
Yeah.
just understanding who each other are and just taking 5 minutes to celebrate each other or say, hey, I recognize the work you're doing. I respect it. Like I said,
Yeah.
we sing on, if it's your birthday, we call you into the rotunda and we sing happy birthday to you. It's 5 minutes. It
Yeah.
literally less than 5 minutes to just show people that we appreciate it. And then what day was it? It was the 21st of September. And so I printed out the lyrics to the song and I said, everybody meet in the rotunda. we're going to sing this song. We're going to celebrate the 21st of September. And we do it right when we all get there. We do it first thing in the morning. And there was a lady there that had come to get a business license. And I said, are you in a hurry? And she said, no. And I said, can you give me 2 minutes? We have all City Hall here. And she said, can I have some lyrics? I want to sing along.
Oh, my
Nice.
gosh.
So
Yeah.
if you look at that video, there's 2 strangers standing there. One came out of the treasurer's office, and then we printed out them lyrics and they sang it with us. And it was just a way to say, hey, we're going to get through the day. We're going to get through whatever comes at us. So if you don't
Happy
like it,
people are
I'm not
productive
wasting
people.
it. I always say it's 5 minutes out of your day. If you say that's a waste of my taxpayer money, come see me. I'll give you the penny that I owe you for wasting your
Exactly.
taxpayer money
Right.
for that 5
I
minutes.
am
But
completely
honestly, it's
bought in to the team building thing.
Alderperson Evanson has told me several times that he notices a difference in the attitude of people when he comes in, that it's a happier place right now. And that's really, you get better productivity out of happy employees. And any corporate professional in the world will tell you that if your employees are happy, trust me, you're getting better work.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I had a manager tell me one time, and I hated the guy. Right? I mean, I literally,
Yeah.
if he was on fire, I wouldn't piss on him to put him out.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I just hated
Wow.
the guy. And he said one thing that made a whole lot of sense to me, because people were complaining about their money and things like that. But the morale at the place I worked at also was just terrible. And, the higher ups, I was a member of management, and the higher ups were just like, well, we just need to pay more money. And he was like, no, you don't. He's like, money is actually a temporary solution to a long-term problem. And I looked at him and I was like, in my head, I'm like, you're an idiot, but you're right. Because I was just like, you're right. And it's morale. You have to, you don't have to love where you work, but you definitely cannot hate where you work. And you have to at least know that you're appreciated.
People want to feel valued.
Yes,
Maslow's hierarchy
100%.
of needs. People
Yep.
want to feel valued. We treat every employee there the exact same way. It doesn't matter their role, from the mayor
Right.
to everybody, from the
Right.
top to the bottom. We celebrate their birthday the exact same way.
Yeah.
I know these people like, friends, and some of them might not like me and I might not like them, but we celebrate our roles there, and we celebrate what we bring to the table, just like they are the mayor. I mean, because the mayor is only as strong as the foundation he's
That's right.
built underneath
Some
him.
people like to say we're stronger together. I have always believed in we're only as strong as the weakest link.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Mhm.
pick it up.
And that's what I said when I hope when I leave, I am the weakest link. I hope I've empowered everybody else and I'm the weakest link. And when that happens, it's time to move on to the next thing. So
Yeah. And I think that's important also, for the citizens of this town and any town to remember also, is you guys need to feel appreciated for what you do. Not just you, but the mayor. Even if you're angry or whatever, you still need to feel appreciated, because you guys are trying to to make our lives better here, there at City Hall. And if you have nothing but complaint after complaint after complaint after complaint, then that can be demoralizing for you
it
guys.
beats you down.
And I do agree that if something's going on up there that people need to be called out on, absolutely call them out. But you know what? And we talked about this before, about, have a solution or something like that. Don't just call and bitch. Think about what would make your life better. If you're going to call and complain about something, say, this is my idea. You clarified earlier, one guy called you about the bicycles.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah, one guy called you about the bicycles. Just one guy out of the town, he called you, and you're looking into it now. So it shows that there's some action that's being taken up there. So that's definitely appreciated.
Our whole country's built on the democracy. We wouldn't want it any other way.
Republic.
And all of the and as far as even the federal politics, that's all super, super, super important. But local politics is where it hits you the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's your hometown.
Those small elections are so important.
They are important.
Yep.
They're very important.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And I love knowing that you guys are putting the work in. You're not even putting the work in and just calling it a day. You're looking further. What can I do next?
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, if you want to sing and laugh and act goofy and almost pee down your legs, I'm your cheerleader, because I'm
Appreciate
all
that.
about that now.
Who's cleaning up the pee?
Well,
We clean up after ourselves. If anybody's ever been there for a birthday, we throw confetti on the birthday person.
I guess you
they'll
weren't there
sparkle
when,
the rest
when
of the day.
pig came in.
And then we
Nice.
get a broom and we tell our custodian, go away, we'll clean this.
Yeah.
We never make him clean up our mess. We clean behind ourselves.
And there might be an animal or two come through. We don't get worried
You
about.
never
pee.
know what you're going to find
No.
there.
Nice. Well, Jenna, thank you so much for taking
Thank you for
the time
having
out,
me.
to join us again. We appreciate you being here. I'm pretty sure that Engineer Bill's made sure we had great audio tonight
Absolutely.
and that everything has gone great. And
Full
again,
circle for this year.
full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah. Again, we appreciate the work you guys are doing up there.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you coming on our show to kind of answer some questions and things like that. So anything big going on this week that you can think of?
No, not right off. I've kind of just centered on this little anniversary show for us and getting it right this time with the audio, and just looking forward to that. If you get a chance, tomorrow is Classic Tuesday movie. Can't remember what the movie is right off, but you know it's a good one.
You're canceled.
I'm canceled. But listen, whatever you go to see, there is a Christmas tree contest. Now, I might know the person that won it last year. Let's just not get into all that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a beautiful tree there this year. It's got a lovely roaring fireplace. It says 62040 across its little boots. Drop your ticket in there.
Yeah. Who you care to share with us who may have put that little display up?
Yeah. 62040. And it's adorable. And please go take a selfie and post it, because that's what makes me happy. It might seem silly, but it's what makes me happy.
Any hashtag you like to put on that?
Yeah, actually. Hashtag 2023 Christmas 62040. Thank you for asking.
Well, you're absolutely welcome.
Hmm.
So awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Again, I think that, I've enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed having you on, Jenna. And, thank you for, again, coming and, sharing with City Hall. And remember, guys, we've told you this before. Well, excuse me, let me be correct. Guys and girls, people of all shapes, sizes, and types. If you have something that you want to communicate with the City Hall, there are multiple ways to do this. Jenna has mentioned phone calls, emails. Some of you may even have text numbers that you can send it to. But remember, it's your city. These guys are there working for you, but be nice to them, because that's really kind of what gets things done. And, join us again next week. We're going to be here next week. Following Monday, I'm not sure of. I think that's the 26th, right? Or is that actual Christmas Day? Is that next Monday, the 25th? So
we'll be here on the 18th, but not the 25th.
Okay. We won't be here the 25th. We'll be celebrating at home with our other families.
We're family.
We're family. We are family.
Gosh.
And speaking of family, two things. Speaking of which, Nick, I'm sorry we missed you tonight, brother, man. We love you. You are part of the End of Metro family. And, that was, due to me being, out of the country. Man, I get to say that now. I was out of the country.
Sounds very fancy.
Yeah, I'm a sophisticated man now. I'm an man of international travel.
Never going to hear the end of it.
Probably not. So, but Nick, we missed you tonight, bud. And Jenna, just also on behalf of us, sorry about your father.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. Big staple in this city for a long time. So, our condolences, and we'll be thinking about you and your family on the holidays.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So, you're welcome, guys. Join us back here again next Monday, 7:15. We'll see you then.